Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
Okay, we are going to do an update to the Las Vegas real estate market.
Woo.
The date on this is Sunday, August 25th, 2024, and the date is pretty normal. It's pretty normal for what's been going on. We're going to go through all the data, and then we got some pretty cool charts and some other stuff in here for you. Okay, anything before we get started? Was there any stuff?
If you're looking to buy or sell in Vegas or anywhere else, look us up. We'll help you out.
Okay, we'll start here over with this market action index. It says 43 slight seller's advantage. I'm going to read this, what it says underneath there. The market's been cooling over time and prices plateaued for a while. Despite the consistent decrease in market action index, we're in the seller's zone. Watch for changes in market action index. If the market action resumes its climb, prices will likely follow suit. If the market action index drops consistently or falls in the buyer zone, watch for downward pressure on prices. 30 is a buyer. We have a whole chart on this. It hasn't been below. It's not going to go below 30. There's almost zero chance it's going to go below 30.
Yeah,
it's at 43. It was at 43 last month. And these are generally two of the slowest months of the year.
Right.
July,
August. There's no reason we would think it could go into a buyer's market. I mean, we have a shortage of inventory. That's not about to get any better. We've got maybe some rate improvements coming up pretty soon. That's going to bring more buyers into the market, which of course that's going to put more pressure on the minuscule inventory that we have. And when we have more buyers than we have sellers, well, that's supply and demand, and prices at the very least will not be going down, probably will be going up. It is the fall, so we do generally have less buyers in the fall, but the ones that we have are more serious. They're less window shoppers and more actual shoppers. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, so here's the real-time market profile. We're going to jump into this data. We'll just start up there with the median list price. This hasn't changed much. The difference between that bottom and that top there is like a couple $1,000. The median list price of all homes since May has basically been about $575,000. That's been the median list price of median price new. Now that's all homes on the market. Now that's skewed because if you have a $10 million house, or they come on the market less often than a $300,000 house, right?
Right. So, I think that you're right. These numbers are a little bit skewed. Vegas has experienced this whole luxury market thing over the last decade or so that we didn't have before. And so that's kind of, I think, skewing numbers for Vegas. And this is becoming our new normal, right? Because we do have more and more luxury homes. And as Vegas becomes even more cosmopolitan, we will continue to have an increase in luxury homes, which will push that median up. And I think that's something to watch and really to take with a grain of salt, right? Because that certainly doesn't represent the market. But at the same time, these homes that are luxury homes are impacting the market.
Okay, the next one's price per square foot. You could see in May it was $274. Today's $274. Everything in between is just noise. This is just, because this is gathered on a weekly basis. So if a couple more higher end homes or lower end homes sell, it can change, or it can affect the price per square foot. Price per square foot is probably more accurate than median. Because like I said, if you just have a year where a bunch of smaller homes sell, like we had in the fall of 2022, there were just more homes transacting on the lower end, the median dropped. But home price per square foot did just change by a normal amount that year. And we have a good chart on that here. Inventory is increases every year at this time. Right. We've got a chart to show you on that. And then market action says slight seller's advantage 43. We talked about that. It normally drops quite a bit. It's actually dropped less than we thought it would. We thought this fall would get super soft, and we'll talk about interest rates. Here's a long-term chart of market action index. If you look at this, those two humps that you see were the first one was the 2 to 3% interest rates. So that's what caused that. The second one was interest rates are getting ready to go up. And a bunch of people flooded in the market to capture rates before they, broke, 4 or 5%. Okay. And then you can see we've gone back to this normal market. Where we are in this, though, what's interesting about this, if you look back over the last 3 years, that the market action falls a little bit and then it picks back up, and then it falls and picks back up. So you can see we're just a couple months from it picking up. It's traditionally October. This is the end of August. We're going to have September. October will reach our peak of inventory, and then it should pick up, right?
Right. So we understand that there are national things going on, which we won't talk about them because it's just there's been enough talk about those things. But I think the important thing to keep in mind is that the Fed is meeting in September, and it is very likely that they will reduce interest rates. Now, what does that mean to people, on the ground, so to speak? Well, the market's already anticipating this, so you're already seeing interest rates somewhere around 6.5. So I think you're not going to see a whole lot more movement unless there's this, again, anticipatory cut again in anticipation of the Fed continuing to cut rates.
Yeah.
So remember, our rates are leading, not lagging behind the Fed's decisions.
Here's the inventory chart. What's really interesting about this, so we just have about 3,000, this is the 90-day average, 3,000 homes on the market. But this shows the rate of change. And the rate of change is less than a couple years ago. And remember, this is not going to go up that much because by October, November, this inventory number is going to start declining again. And if we get rates below 6%, which is possible by next spring, it's going to get pretty active again next spring. And then I'm going to put the price per square foot chart up. And then this is super interesting. Okay, those diamonds are August 25th of the last 5 years. And of course, 6 years ago is, 5 years ago is all the way on the left. And then, but this home prices today are the highest in Vegas per square foot they have ever been on this day. If you go back to 2020, you can see that diamond is lower than where it is today. We were told there would be a 40 to 50%. And remember this chart, it's visually misleading because the bottom's 150, it's not zero. By now, home prices would be 40 or 50%. You should panic and sell your house, get rid of that 2% interest rate because your home value is going to tank. In the meantime, rents have gone up quite a bit. So, I don't know. That's pretty much it, except for one more thing. I'm going to throw this in. We're doing research on a different video, and I want to put this in here. Okay. This is a video we're going to do in a couple days about new homes. Okay. While inventory is slowly creeping up in the resale market as some homeowners part ways with their pandemic-era low mortgage rates, that supply is still historically low and keeping homes expensive. The median price of previously owned homes set a record last month for any July, going back 2 decades, according to separate data out Thursday. So want to talk about that a little bit. Highest home prices ever in July, despite 6.5% interest rates.
Well, okay, so first of all, 6.5 is actually a good interest rate. And, look, as far as setting a record, we have the highest population we've ever had in the U.S.
Yep.
We have insufficient homes for people who are well qualified to purchase.
There's an estimate that 11 million people have entered the country in the last 2 years.
Okay.
And we've built like 700,000 new homes.
Right. So, and I'm not suggesting these 11 million people are out there buying homes, but what I'm suggesting is that they need to live somewhere. So there are other people buying homes so that these people can rent them. Okay. So it still creates the same demand. It doesn't really matter whether these people are buying homes or somebody else is buying homes to rent to these people. It's all the same thing. We're still trying to put people in homes. So because we have more people chasing an insufficient amount of homes, that's where we are as far as the highest prices ever. Now, I recognize that not the whole country is participating in the same way, and that real estate is hyperlocal. So hyperlocal means that it can differ from one street to the next, and certainly, across the country, we're going to have a different experience. But by and large, this is what's happening in the country.
The Fed has raised the federal funds rate. It has been over 24 months since the beginning of the raising rates. It's been almost 30 months. This is the longest ever,
right?
The longest time frame ever before a rate cut that the Fed have raised rates, because inflation was 8-9% and they were trying to stomp it out. Despite that, home prices are the highest they've ever been. This logic that interest rates and home prices are inverse to each other or whatever, when 42% of people own their home free and clear, and then the other 58%, all of them have under 3 or 4% interest rates, and are basically making super low mortgage payments, they're not going to dump a bunch of houses on the market. 3,000 homes, guys, 3,001 homes in Las Vegas. 3,001 homes in Las Vegas would have been like 1,700 homes 20 years ago on the market. And we never got below 1,700 houses in the MLS, even when it was the hottest it ever was. And we now have like 2.6 million people in the whole metro area.
Right. So just to clarify one thing regarding what Todd said, as far as housing and inflation, home prices and home purchases have no impact on inflation whatsoever because they're considered an investment. What does count against inflation are rents. So rents count against inflation. Home purchases do not.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. That was kind of fun. Hope you had a good time with the market update for Las Vegas. Leave us your comments and let us what's going on in your neck of the woods. We appreciate it. If you want to give us some feedback regarding suggestions for future videos, we welcome those. Mm-hmm. If you see us out and about, feel free to say hello. We enjoy meeting you. If you are interested in buying or selling in Las Vegas or anywhere else, look us up and we'd love to help you out. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.